Now you can start constructing your greenhouse. First, lay out the base of the frame on top of the greenhouse base. It is easier to do this away from the prepared base area. The components simply push-fit together. To help you get the base connectors round the right way, the outside is marked for ease of identification. Make sure that all the channels face outwards before inserting and securing the frame to the base with the bolts, nuts and washers. Remember to place the bottom fixing for the door on the required end as you fit the securing bolts. For a sliding door, fit the retaining slider, and for a hinged model, use the hinge. Once you've assembled and secured the base frame and greenhouse base, carry it over to your prepared area and take a minute to check that it comes the roof. Start by putting together the two ends. They are slightly different in their construction, as one, of course, carries the door. Follow the instruction manual and firmly push the fittings together and lock the pins in place with the tool provided. This is where your first experience of fitting the polycarbonate glazing panels occurs. They have no sharp edges, do not shatter like glass, and are much easier to mark with a logo to help you fit it the right way round. It is worth marking each of the panels with a dot using a permanent marker, just in case one of the panels ever blew out. Before fitting the glazing panels, pull back the UV marking tape from the top and bottom of the panel. Fit the glazing seal in the end section at this stage, cutting it to the required length and pushing it into place with the tool provided. Fit either the hinged or sliding door, fitting whichever you have selected, before moving on to the central section of the roof. Once you have completed the ends, build on the central arches one at a time from the rear end of your greenhouse until they are all in place. Finish off by attaching the door end. The next step is to attach the glazing elements which hold the polycarbonate glazing in position. It is best to step into the framework to reach the top of the roof. To make it just a little easier to fit the glazing elements, apply soapy water to the strips before fitting. Attach each glazing element by placing one end in the channel and pushing it down along its length. When applying the glazing elements, make sure that the correct components are used in their appropriate section, as they vary in length. It is well worth checking against the instruction booklet. Now you are ready to place the roof vents and polycarbonate glazing panels in position. The roof vent is designed to fit into the end section of the roof and can be placed left or right, front or back. If you are intending fitting additional roof vents, then now is the time to fit them. Now for the glazing panels. Place them into one of the channels of the glazing element, top or bottom, and then gently bend the panel to ease it into the channel at the other end. Continue inserting panels until the roof is fully glazed. Finish off the glazing by adding the glazing cap elements, pushing them firmly into place. Again, it is easier to fit them if they are dipped in soapy water first. Be especially careful to align the glazing capping elements so there is no overlap or gap. This makes for a better fit, and it will look better. Once this has been completed, finish off the roof section by pushing the roof caps on the top rib intersection of the roof into place. Moving now onto the base section. Insert the vertical columns into place, being particularly careful to use the correct posts in the corners. Once they are all in position, secure them using the locking pins as used in the roof section. For the next stage, you will need assistance, not because the roof section is particularly heavy, but it is awkward. Before lifting into position, make sure that the door is in the same position on both bottom and roof section. Take one end each, lift in unison, and then move carefully over to the base section. Rest the roof on the columns and then, working your way around the greenhouse, insert the first centimetre of the roof connectors into the columns. Make sure that you do not insert the connectors all the way at this stage, as this is done once you have the glazing in position, which is the next step. Bend the glazing panels slightly so that each of the vertical sides locates into the frame columns. Then straighten, sliding the panel up or down into grooves in the frame. Complete all the polycarbonate glazing panels in the bottom before lowering the roof section. Move around, section by section, pulling the roof down using the glazing tool if needed to guide the corners of the polycarbonate glazing panel into the top channel. Once complete, then go around securing the roof into position with the locking pins. Now for the final element of the glazing, fitting the flexible glazing sealer. This needs to be applied to all the panels in the base and ends, both horizontally and vertically. Cut to the required length and, using the glazing tool, push the sealer into position. This will provide your greenhouse with a water and windproof seal. Just before you hang the door, you will need to fit some soft foam insulation into any gaps between the roof and base connections. The insulating strip is self-adhesive and can be cut with a pair of scissors. Now all that is left is to hang the door. If you're fitting a sliding version, just place the runners on the top of the door and slide it on, then fit the retaining channels. And for a hinged model, drop it onto the frame hinges. Last but not least, fit the draft seal. The construction is now complete.